just can't hide, 'cause the style to live is up. So come on and raise your cup. If we talk about memories, yeah, we're gonna make up. Talking about rules, you know we're gonna break up. When the lights come on, everybody's screaming, lighters in the sky, yeah, everybody's singing every word to every song to the girl they're taking home tonight. When the lights come on, everybody's feeling a hallelujah high from the floor to the ceiling. Yeah, the drink that we're drinking, the smoke that we're smoking, the party we're throwing, it's going all night long. When the lights come on, when the lights come on. Yeah, we all the same 'cause we thinking the same thing. We on the same page 'cause we sipping the same drink. Here's a little something to thank y'all for showing up. Al, Dean, and the boys are about to blow it up. When the lights come on, everybody's screaming.
And welcome into the Cullman Football Review. I'm Hugh Harris, and I'm here with Coach Oscar Glasscock as we take a look back last week at our trip up to Muscle Shoals. Not a good outcome, but when you going in, we're facing one of the top teams in 6A, if not the best team in 6A. But you know, you just run into a buzzsaw occasionally, and down with injured players. It's a tough night.
Yeah, well, tough night to say the least. You know, look, it's my job to get these guys prepared, and you know, obviously I didn't do a real good job of that this past week, and I'll take the responsibility for that. But you know, we did have I think we had 7 starters out, and ended up playing on a short week, and you know, Muscle Shoals team is really, really good. You know, I think the grind of the season's kind of caught up with us just a little bit, and got a lot of kids banged up, and we had some kids that had played a receiver in a JV game a couple of weeks before, and they're starting at linebacker, and that's a tough deal against, you know, it's probably the best Muscle Shoals team that I've coached against, and since Coach Basin's been there, they're a legitimate contender, and you know, they've got Power 5 commitments at quarterback and linebacker and safety, and they're loaded for sure, and they're well coached, and they play hard, and hats off to them. They were really, really everything that's been advertised.
Well, we've been going to Muscle Shoals for a few years, and I don't remember a year that we really didn't have a tough time up there. And you talk about their players on offense, but year in and year out, their defense is just strong and hard to get anywhere with.
Yeah, it's I've been coaching a while. I've not seen a better pair of linebackers. You know, either coaching against or watching games or anything like that. They're really, really special. And you know, they dress 36 seniors, and we dress 42 total players. So that kind of tells you the differences in the program right now. And you know, there's no doubt they're a legitimate threat. I mean, to win it, and it'll be interesting to see them match up against some of the folks they'll have to beat to win the title. But you know, with Smothers' kid at quarterback, I mean, he can create, he can make all the throws. Committed in Nebraska, and he's an outstanding player. And they've got some receivers. They had one that's about 6'5", and you know, they're like I said, they're super talented, but they're well coached, and they play with a lot of character, a lot of class. And you know, I mean, they haven't had a close game this year, and you know, I guess we just sort of joined that club because we certainly didn't give them a challenge.
Well, how did you come out as far as injury-wise last Thursday night?
Well, no new injuries. You know, one thing beneficial about playing on Thursday, we had an extra day of rest. You know, we can push them a little bit more in practice today. Had a really good lift this morning. So, you know, part of the deal is if you play on Thursday, you're going to have a little bit more recovery time, and because we didn't get any more injuries, we should be in a lot better shape this week. You know, we're still beaten and bruised up, and got some kids that are not going to be able to play, but we're in better shape than we were this past week.
Well, just getting that extra day this time of year is a big deal for these kids.
That's right, and no question about it. It's a tough deal, and we have our off week is actually the last week of the season, And so, you know, whereas some other teams have had an off week during the year to kind of get recovered, we haven't had that luxury. So it's made it a little bit tougher, but, you know, it'll pay off. We are in the playoffs because Hartsville beat Decatur last Friday. You know, we're assured of at least the 4th seed, and we'll be playing Hartsville this week for, if we can win that game, we'll be the 3rd seed. So we're 100% in the playoffs, and that's a great thing. I mean, and, you know, one of our big goals is to win. You know, Cullman's never won a 6A playoff game, and you know that was a big goal kind of going into the season, and that goal is still out in front of us, no matter, you know, despite how we played last Thursday.
All right, well, let's get on into the first quarter and man up against Muscle Shoals.
Yeah, Muscle Shoals, they remind me a lot of Thompson. You know, when I was at Mountain Brook coaching against Thompson, it's just similar colors to their uniforms, and just phenomenal talent and excellent coaching, and they're really, you know, everything's going their way right now. Beautiful stadium setting up there, Muscle Shoals. They nice new turf field. And you can just see some of the size of, you know, these two linebackers, number 2 right there, and he's committed to Alabama, and you know he's expected to play. And it's big guys. You know, right there we've got a hole. You know, Jake Dillon's not used to really being the running back. You know, Jalen Huey didn't play in the game, and we started Jaden at fullback, and you know that's just a little bit of lack of experience right there, not knowing exactly where to follow the blockers. You know, it comes. I mean, you know, people play for a reason. Run the buck sweep opposite the twin side, which is, you know, something we saw just based on how they're lined up against twins, and Jaden makes the nice cut to the outside, and you know we get a first down here, and you know, as you'll see, kind of Muscle Shoals sort of settles in after this. Just see the strength right there. You know, against other teams, a lot of times Jaden's, you know, moving the pile back, and he's a strong young man. You know,
they swarm to the ball.
They do, and they get there with their strength program is just really phenomenal, and you can just see that. You know, when you stop Jaden like that, I mean, you've got to be really, really strong, and their weight room is what we're trying to get to. You know, we're getting stronger, and our guys are getting stronger actually during the season, but we've got a ways to go. Nice throwing catch right here from Max to Isaiah, and we've got to do a better job throwing the ball, and that's something we're working hard on, and you know, it's coming, and it's didn't really feel like we were close enough to go for it on 4th down right here, so. Normally, if we get any closer, we're probably going to go for it in those situations. Tanner Heatherly punting, and got Dustin Speak covering right here, and
great
Jaden Kay, and super punt. Doesn't give them a chance to return it, and got them backed up. And it's really, you know, pretty good start to the game actually. See the Smothers kid, you know, we're keeping linebackers on him because they're going to fake the jet a lot, and he's going to run it, and he's just a phenomenal athlete. Of course, his dad Shane's coached around North Alabama a long time. They were at Athens last year and transferred on over to Muscle Shoals this year, which he had actually been there before. And you know, a lot of people don't know Shane that coached here for a while when I was working for Coach Bates. He was on the staff here when he was finishing up school. Just a great coach and great friend. As you can see, Muscle Shoals is they're in a spread offense now. You know, just kind of showcase the Smothers kid. But we got to protect the sideline right there, and that's, you know, something that we emphasize, we work on, and we just got to trust to do our job right there and minimize the gain on that instead of giving that sideline that's a lot bigger gainer. You can just see a little bit of athleticism. We're not dropping our hips, we're dropping our head right there, and that's why we miss the tackle right there. But a lot of little things, and the little things really, really show up in a game like this. Man, what a great interception by Griffin Barksdale. I mean, it was had a great break on the ball, and then he's got the awareness to get a hold of that. And, you know, as far as starting the game, I mean, this is, you know, really it's going our way. You know, we got a couple first downs, had a great punt. You know, we get a turnover on defense, and, you know, really as far as starting out, I mean, we're in good shape.
It's good to see Griffin back at full speed after he is out a week or so.
Yeah, he's had some back issues, and we can't have negative plays. You know, we really didn't get it done at the point of attack as much. I mean, I think, just the speed and athleticism. Boy, it's just, you know, so close right there. And you know, Noah Key's a guy's going to have a really bright future here. And, you know, he's, like I said, playing junior varsity a few weeks ago, and now he's starting against you know, the second-ranked team in 6A and contender for state championship. That's a pretty tall order. Really disappointed right here. You know, we've had the rough snap. You know, Tanner does a good job just fielding it, but man, you can't make those kind of mistakes against a team like that. You just can't give them a short field, and you know, that's really where it started kind of going south on us.
And you certainly don't want to make that mistake on the road.
That's right. And this, you know, we get the play turned in, but you can see the kind of speed they have. They can hit that little bit of a crease, split our linebackers, and that wasn't a trick play. That was just snapped early, and our guys are doing a good job of reacting to it and getting 11 shirts to the football.
And you're still seeing Cullman swarm to the football.
Right here. And here we have Gabe Sosa. You know, again, he's been a receiver. We moved him to defense this week, and he ended up, you know, starting out there, and he's at striker. And man, you know, he's going to be a really good defensive player. But you know, obviously, lack of experience there, and knowing when to cover and when to blitz, and those are the things that Gabe's going to get better at, because it really meant a lot to him the other night playing in the game. And so I was really proud of his attitude and how he just jumped in there and, you know, hadn't had the game experience that position, and just did the best he could to learn and filled in for a need we had right there. So, you know, had the turnover on special teams, and that's something we haven't done this year. You know, we've really played well there and protected the ball, and Jaden makes a nice gain here, and you know, it still seems like, you know, we have a chance to do something, but just our pad levels just too high on the offensive line here, and we gotta get back to improving every week like we had been before. We're in a trips look right here, and we gotta be a little more aggressive getting to that block on the corner, but yeah, we'll learn from it, no doubt.
Yeah, our special teams really been good this year.
Yeah, we work harder on punt team than anywhere I've been around, and we had some mental lapses as far as doing something opposite to the way we practiced all week, and we just have to.
They put pressure on the punter there, and
that's right.
Ended up with a short kick.
That's right, and we gotta. You know, that's why you practice, and it's got to translate in the game. And you can just see number 35 there's about 6'5", 6'6" player, and just a huge guy. And they do a good job in the route running, and their receiver just basically, we got a corner on that backside post, and they carry our safety out of it, and it's a kind of a one-on-one. What a super throw! I mean, it's 2 steps in the back of the end zone, just like you see on Saturdays and Sundays. So. You know, credit for them for executing the play. We're not in terrible shape, but you know, we've got to come out of our break a little bit more, and open our hips up and start running a little bit more full speed a little sooner right there. We're going to be a little bit closer, but still fine play by them.
And there's not too many quarterbacks in the high school level that can make that throw.
Yeah, and they ran a great route. And like I said, you know, most Shoals they ran a lot of things similar to how we're running our offense. And this is the first year they've really gone to spread attack, but you know, you got to have the quarterback to do it, and they were fortunate to have that transfer come in. Still, you know, we're getting positive yards here, first down. You see Noah Key and Jake Doolin in here and running the power, and you can just see how strong they are right there. You know, Jake's a really strong athlete, and he's just a 10th grader, but you know, you can see when they make contact, we're going right down to the ground, and that hadn't happened a whole lot. You know, we've caught up a lot strength-wise, but they really hit it hard starting in 7th grade up there, and you really see the results on the field. And you know, and again, having 36 seniors, and those guys have been lifting since 7th grade, and the results of that.
Well, we're down 14-0, which against Muscle Shoals is we're still looking positive and had our opportunities, but that one turnover with the punting team really made a big difference in the whole scheme of the game.
Yeah, and you can't have those mistakes. I mean, you just can't against a team like that, because man, it's just you know, they're going to take advantage of it. And one thing about playing a team like Muscle Shoals or Hueytown or, you know, Jasper or anybody we played, it's really, really good. They'll expose you.
Right.
And you may be getting the things done against lesser talented people, but when you play a team like them that's well coached and playing hard and has the kind of athletes they have, then, you know, they're going to expose you. And we've been getting away with a couple of, you know, blocking techniques in our punt team, and, you know, they took advantage of it. And
Right.
so now, you know, our kids can see it on film and learn from it and say, oh, this is why this is important
Right.
that you do it like this. And sometimes it takes experience in a game for it to really sink in.
And you got to win the trenches when you get in these kind of ball games. And when you got the strength of those Muscle Shoals linemen, it's hard to do.
That's right. And we got to get back and keep improving. And we, you know, some of our young players did some good things, and we're going to build on that this week.
Well, we're going to take a commercial break. This is the Cullman Football Review, brought to you by Citizens Bank and Trust, Bill Smith GMC Buick, Target Pest Control, and Cullman Power Board. And we'll be back after a commercial break.
What's not to love starts with a smile, a shake of the hand. For a great deal, we got the best plan. What's not to love? That's how you feel. This is the place where savings are real. At Mitch Smith Chevrolet, what's not to love?
Johnny's Barbecue.
Well, you came out down 14-0 on the road, and you know, you could have a whole lot worse situation. When we made them drive the field, we forced them to punt. So we're still pretty strong against this Muscle Shoals.
Yeah, well, you know, we had the special teams gaff, and, you know, that's one of the keys to the game for us for winning is, you know, we have to win special teams. And you know, we're ahead as far as turnovers go. You know, that's another key to the game. You know, we gave up an explosive touchdown in the passing game, and now we're, which is another key to the game, and you know, had the gaff, like I said, in special teams. So we're kind of, as far as our keys to the game, you know, we're already down too. And you know, that's, but you know, our game's going about like everybody else has played them this year. You know, I think Hartsville was down 35-0 at halftime against them, and man, you know, they make a lot of people look bad, and they're a fine football team.
Well, if we just had one touchdown pass down 7-0 and put away the punting error, then you'd feel like you'd done a good job for the first quarter.
That's right. You know, we started off okay, you know, but you know, you gotta make plays, and you can't make any mistakes against that bunch.
All right, let's look at the second quarter. Cats can go, they can play it on the road, but an atmosphere where they're really going to support their team, and I know they made a commitment 10 or so years ago to really make football priority, and they've seen the results.
Yeah, I remember, you know, of course, I've known Coach Bazin up there a long time, and, you know, I actually went to Cordova as a defensive coordinator after he had won a championship at Cordova, and then he there's no way he would have gone up there unless they were committed to doing things the right way, and what a turnaround and transformation. You know, what's helped them is sort of having some schools close down and get smaller, and a lot of these athletes that used to go to, say, Hazelwood or Cortland or even Colbert County, and, you know, they're living in Muscle Shoals now, and you know, and that's a benefit. Well, we're just really close on the pass right here. Did get the interference call, and, you know, that's something that we're going to do when, you know, people are playing everybody in the box. We got some play action stuff, and yeah, at some point that's going to be a touchdown, and we're maybe we try to sally reverse and make a decent cut. We got to maintain our blocks a little bit better, and, you know, I'm really proud of Noah Key for stepping in there against really tough circumstances. Working the bootleg area, we got to get rid of the ball sooner. You know, had the drag open, and you know, if we're going to throw the flat route, we got to get it out of our hands a little sooner. Can't get the block back on the trap right here, and they were doing a good job of spilling the blocks and just not getting the same kind of movement. And again, a lot of it comes back to technique. It's just bottom line is you know, playing a lower pad level than they are,
And their defensive line is not as big as some we played, but their quickness and
Yeah, their strength is just really, really good. And again, right there, got holes in our protection, and we made an adjustment just to stop.
Great punt under the circumstances.
Yeah, I don't really know how that was a touchback. I didn't really get to. No, it was the next one. I remember they had another one that was kind of close right there. But, anyway, we got them backed up, and they're in their end zone, and you can just, again, see the strength. Normally, that's going to be a tackle on our part. You see JT Blackwood in there, and I tell you, I'm really proud of JT. He's been our backup quarterback, but he's got a knack at playing linebacker, and we've tried to protect him a little bit, but, with this late in the season and with our injury situation, I said, shoot, we're going to play this guy. And you see him run around the ball, and what a great teammate he is. And plus, too, he's gotten stronger in the weight room, and he's able to play in a 6A game now just because he's worked hard. And you just see him right there. He takes a good angle. He's running to the ball. And he's got a lot of great instincts to be a really good linebacker. And just quarterback, anything you put him out there, he's going to play winning football.
Yeah, that linebacker spot, you got to be intelligent and really react well. And
you see right there, you see Gabe Sosa and JT Blackwood sprinting to the ball with great angles. And, when I say that those guys just started playing this week, I'm not kidding. They actually, they had gotten some work there in the past, but they just got there. And we get the guy on the ground, and that's what we're trying to do is keep that from being an explosive touchdown. Dustin Spate does a good job of keeping it out of the end zone. And we want to make him snap it again because you never know what can happen. And that's sort of our mindset. We get the play turned in. We don't have the interior help. They did get a holding call on the play. And, again, you see Gabe Sosa getting out there, and he's got a good feel for getting a play turned in at the striker position. And like I said, I'm just really proud of Gabe and JT and these guys. And great coverage. Braden Scroggins, another guy's been a receiver all year and had a little bit of experience at corner, and we brought him over there with the injury to Matt Brock, and Jaden had to go to safety. And so, really some of the guys we moved around are playing better than the guys that have been starting. And we get all those guys on the same page right there, we'd have had a little bit better performance. Again, Braden Scroggins is in great position. The guy makes a great catch, but he's in, if you can see, he gets his head around and he gets his hand up, and but when you're giving up about a foot, sometimes it's just a mismatch. And you see those mismatches more in high school than you do Division I or pros. They're recruiting the same type of athlete, and in high school you're going to see those big differences a lot of times.
And the quarterback's got to put that ball
there's no
to
doubt.
utilize his height too.
Well, you're not offered by Nebraska if you're not a legitimate, Power 5 kind of talent, and you have the measurables. And man, I tell you what, when Smothers, when he moved back to Shoals, he made them a legitimate state contender just first day of enrollment.
We're just having a hard time getting the push from that offensive line, and that just goes back to the weight room.
And it's been our strength, but our technique, you can see we're playing a little bit higher pad level. Good call. I think Coach Hackbarth helped Coach Saint make this call in the press box, and don't say enough about Coach Hackbarth, Coach Campbell, and Coach Hannon, and Coach Fondren and Coach Saint, the job they do. We've really, to me, we've played well offensively and improved every week. And we took a little step back this week, and again against a really fine opponent. So, but you're gonna have days like this sometimes, and it's all about how you respond, and we'll be better from it. Not bad protection really, and you got to run our routes a little bit harder and get rid of the ball when we see it with opportunities.
Great job getting rid of the ball so you don't have the sack.
We got to trust our blocking right here. I felt like we had blocking at the point of attack, and we kept carrying it outside, and got to trust it a little bit more and be happy with the 5 or 6 yard gains. And again, another whiff on the block right there, and we're gonna have that corrected. That hasn't happened all year, and I don't know if it's just nervousness or whatever, but we're gonna make sure that's corrected going into this week.
And when you're down 21-0, the pressure just gets ramped up.
Well, the momentum, it's that's one thing about football is momentum is it's an inexact science as far as understanding it. But when one team's rolling, all of a sudden they're running better routes and they're making crisper throws, and you know, we seem to be just can't do anything right, and it's all a lot of it's attributed to momentum.
We had 3 defensive guys in place there and a great tackle coming up.
You know, Noah Busman, I mean, against anybody else, that's probably causes a incompletion right there. But, you know, again, their strength program, they were able to withstand some hits like that. And, again, they're running a little RPO here, and we're in great shape and making a tackle. And again, you see Gabe Sosa over there hadn't had a tackle in the game all year because he's been playing offense. And then he was one of our leading tacklers for the game. So it's just a good job on a roll tackle right there. And you know, man, just barely get in there. And it's just, you know, you can see our guys are doing everything they can, and we're getting them on the ground. It's just a little bit of strength difference here and there, and we've got to get 11 guys to the football. And they're on a roll right now, and really that's what happens sometimes if you're not getting first downs on offense, and we're already had so much attrition and injuries on offense. You put those young guys right back on the field, and that's what makes it tough. And you know, our offense is designed to get first downs and keep the chains moving and keep that small or inexperienced defense off the field.
Yeah, don't care what level you are, you got to give that defense a break now.
You have to, you know,
and get some drives.
Every defense, it don't matter how great they are, they're going to get tired. And it's just once you get tired, it takes a bigger toll. Great play call here by Coach Saint. We put the tight end screen in this week, and man, it was wide open. And you know, we got to do more of that, and we need to have a screen ready to go each week. And we're working hard on expanding that pass game package, but we're having to throw a little bit too much right now. We're having to throw out of necessity instead of when we want to, and that's something we're going to have to change, you know, if we're going to beat the better people. So.
And we're down 28-0 here at halftime, and it could be a little bit worse. And but we played hard. We're still running to the football on defense, and our offense is struggling a little bit with line play, getting some push. And we knew going in that they were going to be a tough defensive line to move around, and we certainly weren't disappointed.
Well, they've done this to everybody they've played. You know, I guess we were number 8. Right. You know, they've done the same. Every film you watch, the game's unfolded about like ours did. So, you know, I was hoping we could change that, but obviously we didn't change it. So.
All right. Well, we're going to take a commercial break. This is the Cullman Football Review brought to you by Citizens Bank and Trust, Bill Smith GMC Buick, also the Cullman Power Board and Target Pest Control, and we'll be back after the halftime show.
Family owned and operated since 1963. Dine in or carry out. Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. till 9 p.m. Stuffed potatoes, pork, ribs, chicken, catfish, and much, much more. Try our weekend wings and Brunswick stew. And don't forget Johnny's on the Road, catering and delivery. Mention you saw us on the Cullman High School Network, and go Bearcat!
And welcome back to the Cullman Football Review. And I know you got some players out and players adjusting to new positions. So what kind of adjustments can you make at halftime to sort of make it a little more comfortable for these new guys?
Well, just got to remind them what we've coached them to do all week. And the main thing is to, you know, make sure that, hey, we're going to go out there and there's a standard that we play to, and we talk about it. It doesn't matter who the opponent is or what the situation is at halftime and whether we're up big or down big. You know, that really shouldn't matter as far as you doing your job for each particular play. And, you know, I think the guys, we're still learning that. You know, that's sort of what we're hanging our hat on as far as the program goes, and we're going to get tested in that in this half.
And you certainly don't learn that overnight, and sometimes it can be a season-long process, but we've certainly been pleased with the progress these kids have made.
Yeah, well, it didn't seem like we made enough progress Thursday, I'm going to tell you. But, you know, you have to look at the whole, I mean, obviously. And you know, if we're going to compete with people like most Shoals, we've got to continue and develop our strength program as a system, in which we're doing, and you know, we're getting such great participation in that and help from our female coaches and our men coaches and all the sports, and we're going to get there.
Well, I know it helps these kids to understand when they run up against the Muscle Shoals what you've been preaching to them all year, and makes it a reality for them.
And really and truly, we address that and say, hey, we got beat by a team that's a lot stronger than us, and you know, we had probably our best in-season workout this morning on Monday morning, so that's an encouraging sign.
All right, well, let's get on into the third quarter and see. I know we've come out a little sluggish on certain games, but you know, you're still up against Muscle Shoals, and man, they're tough to corral.
Yeah. See a blindside block there didn't get called. I was disappointed in it. There's one thing I'm really going to be passionate about is that, and you know, making sure these officials and things like that, you know, protect the kids, and there was a really good crew right there. But we got to make sure that our kids are being protected. The rules are in place for a reason. Really nice play right there. I thought, you know, Noah Busman had, you know, a really good game overall. Had a couple of plays where that's a really good open field tackle. So he made two good plays, and it's good to see a senior coming out and trying to get the guys rallied a little bit. Boy, you know, we got to, you know, and again, JT, he's going to learn right there. You got to carry on through with that tackle, and you know, man, he's going to be an outstanding player. And there's just no substitute for game experience, and I wish we could have got him in there sooner. And it's just in the year over there, and he's going to play more and more. And again, nice throwing kid, very accurate throw. We're in good position. You see Jamar Kay's in there, brought him in playing some corner. And Jamar's another guy he's getting stronger in the weight room. He's put on some size, and he's able to get out there on the field. And again, we see just the athleticism of, you know, a guy, again, a Power 5 quarterback. And, you know, most of the time we're going to make that sack right there. And, gotta, you know, you understand why you could drop those hips and keep moving toward the guy. Great tackle again, and Gabe Sosa, I tell you, you know, as you see, he had several open field tackles against super athletes. I think he's got a bright future in that position over there. Going to get the quarterback, and again, you know, hey, when JT, remember that guy's playing on Sundays one day, he can tell his kids one day about tackling him.
You're right.
So got kind of blown off the ball right there. It's a little disappointing our defensive line in that scenario, but you know, we're making them drive the field and earn it a little bit, and you know, they get down here 1 yard line, and it's too easy on the jet right there. Didn't quite have the outside contain part of that. And we've always got a defender that's supposed to turn the play in, and it's got caught inside and made it easy on them.
And we're down 35-0 here in the third quarter, but Bearcats are still playing hard and getting after it. So that's what you got to have in this type of a game.
Well, it's like I say, it's never as bad as it seems, never as good as it seems, like the old cliche is. But you know, we didn't just ignore this film. We watched it and trying to get better on it. But see right there, we're kind of getting into. We're not really coming off the ball like we have, and it's just, you know, it's probably the biggest disappointment from the game. It's just,
right.
And like I said, we'll learn from it. Yeah, I don't know how I didn't get that call right there, but you know, they'd called it earlier, and I just think they just, you know, again, I think sometimes, and you can see that safety's about 6'4" right there. It's another Division I guy, but you know, the rules are different in high school. You know, you can't engage, once the play's recognize the pass, you can't engage the player, the receiver. And they both have a right to football, but
yeah, there's certainly a whole lot of contact there.
Right, it's just, you know, let's try to make sure I've heard Coach Saban talk about the inconsistencies of, you know, interference calls sometimes, and how it's a little bit more uniform in the NFL. And, you know, and you see it in high school as well as college. I mean, one crew's going to call it a certain way, and another crew's going to call it something different. And
we see that in high school time and time again, where you, on the road, you get a little different look at plays than you do sometimes.
Well, I'll just say this. I mean, you know, high school refs in general do a fantastic job. And, you know, and it's, boy, it sure is easy to sit here and look at it on a video and a TV show and be critical and things like that. But, you know, I can't say enough about it. I know our local crew with Brandon Shoals, and that group was, I used to work with one of the referees who were on that crew up there, and they did a really outstanding job, I felt, for the most part. Right. So I don't want to sound too critical, and I guess in high school you don't have to risk getting fined like they do in college and the NFL, but you know, it's just sometimes, I think some people, just the fan in general, sometimes doesn't understand the differences in some of the rules. And you know, hopefully try to educate some people on, you know, pass interference is one of those things. It's different at all three levels. Right. You know, it's like in high school, there's no such thing as an uncatchable football. Wow. Interference is interference, whether the ball is catchable or not. No matter
well, we're going to take a commercial break. This is the Cullman Football Review, and we're brought to you by Citizens Bank and Trust, Bill Smith GMC Buick, Target Pest Control, and Cullman Power Board, and we'll be back with it.
For more than 26 years, we've been providing friendly personal banking services for the citizens of Cullman and surrounding counties. We continue to provide new and improved services to our customers, and we even have a new look. So come by and see us at any of our 9 convenient locations. And don't forget, we're open on Saturdays.
Home. It's where you take your time. Build the future. Make your memories. Celebrate. Come home. Alpha Insurance.
For the best agents in the business, call Kathy Sims in Cullman.
And welcome back to the Cullman Football Review. We're brought to you by the Citizens Bank and Trust, Target Pest Control, Cullman Power Board, and Bill Smith GMC Buick. And you got an uphill battle in the fourth quarter, and at this point in time, you just want to see that your kids don't quit.
That's right, and you know, try to work in. We played everybody in the game, and we're going to play most Shoals and JV. We postponed it until the 28th, and you know, these young guys have another chance to get out there on the field, and it's very important that we play all our JV games. We had such an injury crisis. We had to postpone a couple of games, but we're going to get those games in. So you know, now that we're getting kids back now. And
we've really had good results this year on our JV.
That's right. You know, ninth grade's just really been outstanding, and they got the one loss to Gadsden, and you know, they beat Athens 9th and 10th graders last week. And it was a really, really good team, so I'm really proud of that bunch.
Well, we're glad to see those young kids going on and keep them in the weight room and get them built up. And
you know, they actually played that game instead of us. Right. You know, instead of our JV playing in Athens JV, which they don't have a 9th grade team this year, our 9th grade team played their JV and won by several scores, so that was really encouraging.
Well, let's get on into the fourth quarter. The Bearcats respond. And Coach, we started out here down to 20 almost every series.
That's right.
That makes it tough.
Field position's a huge deal. They had an outstanding kicker, man. You see Jaden Sullivan's right there, and again, he's playing the position right now in our offense, which he's going to play on the next level. And you know, he's a Navy commit, and that's what he's going to play. He's going to play the B back and on the next level. You know, like I said, we're seeing Jamar Kay in there running on the rocket. We got a little toss to the fullback and do a nice job blocking and. You know, we're moving the ball just a little bit, and we're going to stick to what we do. Still, you know, protection right there. Nice comeback route to Isaiah Jones, and you know, nice throw and catch. And you know, these are the things we have to be able to do more to beat good people.
But we're pleased with the improvement that we've seen this year, because from that first game going forward, we've really improved.
Well. This is hands down the best defense we've played against, and as good as Jasper's bunch is, this bunch is the next level up. And you know, we've played some really good competitions. You know, we talked about I think the teams we've lost 5 games, and the record of those teams combined is about 38-4.
Right.
And every one of those teams is ranked in the top 10 right now. So that's I would say this is the toughest schedule in Cullman history, and you know, our kids have battled and been in the game and all of these. This is the only one where we've really not really been in the game after the first little bit, and you know it'll happen. It's happened to every coach I know. It's just part of the building process, and you know we get our senior class numbers up, and we're playing. I got called on blindside block there, and I don't know. I've never seen that called in a passing situation like that, but that hurt us, and we had a chance to score, and that got us backed up, and we're forced to punt instead of having a big play in the passing game, which is shanked punt right here. Really disappointed in that. I know Tanner's disappointed in it, but it was, you know, we got the protection issue solved, and then we kind of had a bad punt. And got the backup quarterback in there, and man, you can see Jamar Kay and the kind of speed he's got coming up and making a play there. And we're trying to rotate some young guys in there defensively, although you know, we got a lot of junior varsity guys that started the game anyway, so it's not like make wholesale. And again, Gabe Sosa does a fantastic job getting that turned in, and really proud of Gabe. And you know, you see Lane Parker in there, and Jay Knopp's getting some reps. You got Drew Conway's filled in a lot at linebacker, and got a mix of folks in there, getting some penetration, and you know they're substituting in, and you can see when the talent is more similar on the field, and you know we're starting to make a few more plays and a few more stops, and you got to stay outside right there. Good job running the football.
And now we've had
see Cannon Trimble right there coming down from a safety position, making a fine tackle,
and our defense has been on the field a whole lot of this game.
A whole lot of this game, and man, they hit a. Like you say, when everything's going your way, it's going your way. You know, they hit that field goal.
But the Bearcats are still in it and still playing hard and trying to get something going. And I know they're looking to get something on the field.
You're right. We got Parker Hodges in there at tight end, and
you never want to start off with a 5-yard penalty, but.
That's what, you know, that just a direct result of, you know, it was my fault trying to get a player in the game, and thought I had it communicated, but obviously I didn't, so better job to get that done. Got to maintain our blocks right here. You know, we had the block, and then for some reason we let the guy go and try to move on to the next level. And again, we can see that on film, and I think sometimes running back, you kind of see why it's so critical. You know, to know where the hole is and trust it, and why it's so important for the linemen to maintain their blocks.
Another one goes incomplete, and here we're back punting. We get a good kick away. But a tough outing, Coach.
Yeah, that one's over. There's nothing we can do about it. You know, that's one of the things I like to say is, hey, so what now what? I mean, it's time to put that behind us, and man, everybody's going to have a bad day, and it was a tough night for us, and hopefully we'll get a couple of injured people back. And you know, I felt like the kids were very resilient. They came in the next morning, we worked out, watched film, tried to learn what we could from it, move on to the next one. And you know, everything big goal we had was trying to win a 6A playoff game, which has never been done in Cullman history, as storied as the tradition is. And that goes out in front of us. We're in the playoffs. Hartsville beat Decatur last Friday night, so we're playing Hartsville this week for seeding. You know, the winner's going to be the 3rd seed, the loser's going to be the 4th seed, but we're in, which is big. We get an extra week. We get an extra 2 weeks of practice. You know, whereas if we didn't make the playoffs, you know, our season, we would lose a week. And, you know, with so many young guys, I mean, that's a huge deal, you know, to have extra weeks of practice. And if we can win that first round, you know, we'd have an extra 3 weeks of practice, which is a whole nother spring training. And that's, I can't emphasize how important that is. And so there's a lot of things to play for and moving forward. And I'll say this, I went and watched Hartselle, and I think everybody knows that I coached there for 5 years under Coach Godsey, and I'm telling you, I don't see any difference. And coaches at Madison Academy now, and they look like same old Hartselle. Played hard, well coached, great atmosphere up there. Trounced Decatur, and man, it's going to take everything we can to be competitive in this game. But obviously, the kids are excited about it, and they know it's an important game with playoffs. It's great to be in, but if we can improve our seeding, and that'll get us a step closer to winning that first playoff game. Well,
it's great to be at home, but we've said for years and years when Hartselle, we play them with anything. Tiddlywinks on up, it's going to be an intense game. So you don't expect anything other than just having a hard-fought football game.
Great kids there, great coaches, great place to work, just like Cullman is. And I think one thing is I told our team, we're going to have to start doing our part to make it a rivalry. Cullman's had very, very few wins against Hartselle over the last 30 years or 40 years, and we're going to do our best to make it a rivalry again. But I'm telling you, that's a tall standard. They're really good for a reason, and it's just the way they go about things and the speed at which they practice and which they play, and it's just a great program. And I learned a lot being there. But it's. You don't want to put too much on one game. And I think that's a huge point of emphasis since I've been here. It's like, look, they're all important, and there's a standard you play to, and you don't want to say, hey, I'm playing harder in this game than I did another one. And look, you can't make the game any bigger than it is. And it's just like Alabama and Auburn. I mean, to go into a game and say, well, I'm going to play harder, that's just not the right approach. And so we're going to go out there and try to do our job the best we can, and with elite toughness and elite effort, and try to do those things to win special teams and not win the turnover battle, and make them have to drive the field to score, and make sure we're getting first downs on offense. And if we can do those things, we're going to be in this game.
We'll certainly encourage everybody to get out this Friday night. We finally got some fall weather, and we'd like to fill up Oliver Woodard Stadium this Friday night when Hartselle comes to town, and see if these Bearcats can get it turned around and finish this season strong. But it's never easy in our area and region. It's just a tough road to go. It has been for the last 10 years, and I don't see it changing in the next 10. But you just got to get ready and go out and play every play as hard as you can, as tough as you can, and keep that mental edge that you need, and see what the result is.
That's right. We'll give it a shot.
All right. Well, this is the Cullman Football Review, and we're brought to you by Citizens Bank and Trust, Target Pest Control, Cullman Power Board, and Bill Smith GMC Buick. And we'll see you back next Tuesday night.
You never know what curves life will throw at you. We depend on our ride to grip the road, no matter what. So whether life takes you out on the open road or across town, McGriff Tire Pros has the right tire for you. McGriff Tire Pros carries great tire brands like Michelin and B.F. Goodrich. Michelin offers safe, fuel-efficient, long-lasting tires that provide excellent performance and extraordinary value. McGriff Tire Pros, downtown Cullman. Online at McGriffTirePros.com.
And Mitch Smith Chevrolet, what's not to love? Starts with a smile, a shake of the hand. Want a great deal, we got the best plan. What's not to love? That's how you feel. This is the place where savings are real. At Mitch Smith Chevrolet, what's not to love?
Johnny's Barbecue, family owned and operated since 1963. Dine in or carry out. Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. till 9 p.m. Stuffed potatoes, pork, ribs, chicken, catfish, and much, much more. Try our weekend wings and Brunswick stew. And don't forget Johnny's on the Road, catering and delivery. Mention you saw us on the Cullman High School Network. And go Bearcats!
For more than 26 years, we've been providing friendly personal banking services for the citizens of Cullman and surrounding counties. We continue continue to provide new and improved services to our customers, and we even have a new look. So come by and see us at any of our 9 convenient locations. And don't forget, we're open on Saturdays.
And welcome back to the Cullman Football Review. I'm Hugh Harris, and I'm here with Coach Cagle, otherwise known as Doodle. But we'll find out a little bit more, but we're brought to you by Citizens Bank and Trust, also Target Pest Control, and then Bill Smith Pontiac. Well, they're not Pontiac anymore, but GMC Buick. That's the first slip up I've had in a couple of weeks. And also the Cullman Power Board. But Coach Cagle, tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you to Cullman.
All right. So I was in high school at Addison.
Okay.
And then I went and played college at Bevel State and Snead State.
Okay.
And finished up there. I came to Cullman actually to coach basketball, the middle school basketball. I was hired, I guess, 2013.
Okay.
And then moved into JV volleyball for a year, and I was wanting to get back into volleyball. That was my passion and my heart. But I played basketball and softball in high school as well. So then once the opportunity presented itself, I came up here for JV and then got the varsity job.
Well, the Addison's had a strong history of volleyball for years and years, so
yes.
You came through a very good program.
Yes, I did. Played for 2 state championships and a semifinal.
Well, tell us a little bit about your team this year and how you've been faring in the various tournaments and games you played.
We've been doing pretty good. We've had some big wins against Muscle Shoals, West Point. We played good games against Hazel Green, Jasper. We played the other night against Hazel Green and had them, I think, 23-20, and they're number 1 in the state right now. And we ended up losing 25-23. It was close, but you know, we've been doing pretty good. We got runner-up in the West Morgan tournament a few weeks ago. We've got our big tournament this weekend. We have 24 teams coming in, so we're doing pretty good. We've had a good season so far.
And tell me how the strength and conditioning plays into your volleyball team and how that really affects how strong you can be. It's
been huge. Matching up, we've had people that I know were better athletes, but we just wasn't getting the job done. And I've talked to their coaches, and it was all, you know, they kind of do the same things at practice that we do, but they had a strength and conditioning program. And so once we got that in this year, I think it has been, my girls are jumping higher, we're hitting harder, we're attacking the ball, and we're moving quicker, we're quicker on our feet, and I think it's just all been a part of that, and I'm excited to see. I mean, we've only been in it, you know, a few months, so I can't wait to see just how much better it gets. Yeah, and I know Oscar's really pushing that strength and conditioning for every sport here at Cullman, and it can't help but help. Oh, it does. Well, I mean, that's like Hartselle has always been, you know, a rival of Cullman's and stuff, but for volleyball, we've always fell short. And I'm like, it's the same athletes, same girls, same type of people. What's the difference? And that was one thing I think he started the program when he was at Hartselle several years ago. And that's the difference is, you know, it's the same girls, but they're just working harder. They're getting in the weight room, and that's what we're doing. We're getting in there now. All right. Well, explain to me a little bit as just a casual observer of the sport of volleyball, why do you see the runs that you see when teams get to playing each other? Oh, momentum's huge in volleyball. You know, you can be down 8 points and just turn around and make a huge run. You get a big hit, you get a big dig or something, and your team just rallies around you, and you just, I mean, you can make a big run real quick. Momentum is huge in volleyball. All right. Huge. Well, what have you got left this season with your volleyball, and as far as regional and area tournaments go? We have, well, as far as just regular season, we have Athens tomorrow night, which is our senior night at home, and then we have an away game at Buckhorn. Both 6A teams, both top teams, you know, top 10 actually. And so we're looking to finish pretty strong. And then area, we have Decatur and Hartselle. We got second in the area, so we won't host, but as far as regular season play, but that doesn't mean we finish first. We'll have a tournament. We'll play Decatur first, and then if we beat them, we'll move on to Hartselle. And if we beat them, we'll come out for regional play at the top of the bracket for regionals, which is very important. We want to be at the top of the bracket, and then, but if we get second, we're still in it. And regionals is in Huntsville, and really, if we win our first 2 games, we'll match up with Gardendale's area. I think it's area 15, something like that. Anyway, so if we win that, we'll go on and cross with the Hazel Green, Buckhorn area. And if we win 2 games, we're on to state. So we're excited. It's a good road. We're in a good position to be at.
Okay. Well, how are you building crowd support for volleyball? I know it hadn't been followed that strong in the past, but winning brings people out.
That's it. I mean, honestly, it's kind of built itself. We've had, because of the success we've been having and the numbers of girls that I have coming out. My first year, I was begging girls, pulling girls to be out there, and this year we had enough for 3 teams. I had 50-something girls try out. There's 2 teams at the middle school. I mean, we have so many people interested. They're talking about it. They're getting their friends interested, their parents. So I mean, it's doing its own thing.
Well, that's good, and we certainly think the future's bright for the volleyball at Cullman High School. And at Cullman, we support any sport that they tip off or whatever.
Yes,
you want
absolutely, yes.
And we're certainly glad to see you having success, and that only breeds success, and keeping in that weight program will make them stronger and better the rest of the year and also the coming year. But
yes,
we certainly appreciate the job you're doing, and glad to have you with us.
Thank
and this is the Cullman Football Review, and it's brought to you by Bill Smith GMC Buick, Target Pest Control, Cullman Power Board, and Citizens Bank and Trust. And we'll see you back next Tuesday.
Home. It's where you take your time. Build the future. Make your memories. Celebrate. Come home. Alpha Insurance.
For the best agents in the business, call Kathy Sims in Cullman.
When the lights come on, everybody's screaming, lighters in the sky.
No matter what. So whether life takes you out on the open road or across town, this
Lights come on, everybody's feeling a hallelujah high from the floor to the ceiling. Yeah, the drink that we're drinking, the smoke that we're smoking, the party we're throwing, it's going all night long. When the lights come on, when the lights come on, you're a little shy thing with a wild side on a night like this. You just can't hide, cause it's time to live it up. So come on and raise your cup. If we talk about memories, yeah, we're gonna make them. Talk about rules, you know we're gonna break them. When the lights come on, everybody's screaming, lighters in the sky, yeah, everybody's singing every word to every song to the girl that's taking home tonight. When the lights come on, everybody's feeling a hallelujah high from the floor to the ceiling. Yeah, the drink that we're drinking, the smoke that we're smoking, the party we're throwing, it's going all night long. When the lights come on, when the lights come on. Yeah, we all the same cause we thinking the same thing. We on the same page cause we sipping the same drink. Here's a little something to thank y'all for showing up.